And I so apologize for that. Let's get down to brass tacks. When I tell you this, I'm not saying this just to be cute. I mean this sincerely. I think one of the worst things that we do is to show spite and to show this sense of, schadenfreude, for lack of a better word. Schadenfreude is not something that I like to do or that I think is a good idea to do. It's not something that I care to do. There we go. Now we're back. Thank you so much. Now we're back. Are we back? Good, 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 good. We are so back. I like this. Are we back? We are so back. Terrific. I despise not necessarily Colbert per se, but the people who put him on. I despise the people that allow him to lie and to disparage and blaspheme not only Trump, but us. What he will be forever known as, in my book, the worst thing he ever did, was to be in those vaccine movements. When people lost their jobs, their livelihood, their military status, their jobs, their pensions, their whatever it was, I thought to myself, this is one of the worst periods of American history. And this son of a bitch is laughing about that. Dancing. I'm not saying anything either. I don't want you to do. There's a lot about Colbert that I bought. Have you ever seen Stephen Colbert dance? That's all I'm going to say. When you see someone dance, you realize, wow. Wow. That's just not some ordinary dance, if you know what I mean. I think he's a phony, he's a liar, and he hides behind this, I'm a Catholic business. I hate hypocrites. Tell me who you are and let me know specifically what you're about, but do not lie. Do not pretend to be something you're not. I live in a world, as you know, and have been for the longest time, among talk radio conservative types. And these people, for reasons I don't understand, but these people have always portrayed and been a part of some kind of a, I don't know what the word is, some act they're putting on. They love the troops, they love the flag. A lot of these people really don't believe any of what they're saying. They just do it because they think that's what they have to do. And I've always despised these people. And I've never gotten along with a lot of my colleagues because, very frankly, I find them to be just a complete and total waste of time. What I'm seeing here is a person who, for reasons I can't put into words, but I will never be able to explain to anybody how we live in a world of bullshit. So one thing about President Trump, he's a guy who says some things which are rather caustic, sometimes rather rude and crude, but are nonetheless important. They're nonetheless important, nonetheless critical, and nonetheless legitimate. But he doesn't lie. He, honest to God, does not lie. He tells you the truth. And there's something about that which I like. Stephen Colbert, the moment he laughed, the moment he was mocking us regarding our decision, and it was a very, very bad part of our history. When people were themselves, and this is so important, when people were forced to lose jobs, to lose positions because of the vaccine, I thought this is I couldn't believe that I was seeing that this was my country. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And this son of a bitch was laughing about it. The jokes were unfunny. The comments and the quips in the comments regarding President Trump were absolutely beyond, they were just unkind. He perpetuated this hatred and this despise and this momentum and this vector of hate. But he also did something which is important. He made us realize something which is critical. This is over with. The reason why Colbert fell apart was not just because late night's over, though that's a certain part of it. This way of thinking. Don't let anybody fool you. Don't let anybody fool you with this. The United States does not believe in this craziness. And I'm trying to tell people right now, and people, I'm trying to get them to grasp, that the issue of Mamdani that we're seeing in New York, you got to understand and put into perspective something very, very critical. Mamdani is not, how do I say this? Mamdani is not the way America thinks either, nor was Colbert. I'm not saying people liked, Trump or loved him or everybody hated him. He just wasn't the beginning and the end of who they were. He was the show for TDS. He was the beginning and the end of TDS. He reminded you of what TDS was all about. It was the worst thing I had ever seen. Seriously, the worst thing I had ever seen. Trump derangement syndrome was a hatred. It was like racism, or what people talk about when they talk about anti-Semitism. It was an ideology that had nothing to do with fact, and it was about making you feel stupid, making you feel. It was about making you feel uninvited, unimportant, uninvited. Kind of, how do I say this? It was making you feel like you were an alien in your own world, in your own country. It made you feel so. Remember this. Many of you still, and I still get things from people. I still get words from people who say things like that they have not spoken to their daughters or neighbors or relatives in years because of Trump. They actually went through this. And this is the most important part, we sat through this. We sat through this, and every night, night after night, Fallon, but Colbert was the worst. He was the one who took so much glee. He was going to show the world of the, quote, Tiffany Network, that I am going to hate Trump more than anybody. I'm going to show you full faith, full force, full blast of credit how horrible I hate Trump. And I'm going to show the world that my hatred of Trump is worse than anybody else's. His was, and it wasn't funny. And that whole thing. We're woke. This was the official anthem. This was the national anthem of woke. This was more than just, I don't want to put too much into it, but I really do. And what happened was, there is that lawsuit that Trump's having with Paramount and all this stuff. And yes, part of it was Sherry Redstone trying to clear this up. And there were deals made. But and by the way, we like your like so much, my friends. Thank you. The deal, this model, this late night stuff does not reflect America anymore. Johnny Carson was Johnny Carson because he did not take political stands. I know this sounds nuts. Talk radio is different. Talk radio, you better take a political stand. But when you are two of one thing, you know somebody who wears too much cologne, or somebody who wears too much what am I trying to say? People who wear too much perfume, people who are too ostentatious. Sometimes you might see women who, maybe you've seen this, women who are too low cut, women who are too over the top, women who are too, I don't know what the word is. People who go out of their way to show something. You see and you recognize a kind of this lack of authenticity. And that's what he was. You didn't believe him. I asked you this before. What are some of the words that you use right now to describe your own sense of elation? What are the words that come to your mind right now that describe your sense of absolute hysteria? Love your now. English is the official language of Liberia. Liberia was created by freed American slaves. Thank you, Patrick Kelly. Patrick, thank you for bringing up something that has nothing to do with what we're talking about, and I thank you for that. Thank you for giving life and giving sustenance to a non-vectored platform. I appreciate that. I do agree. Colbert was very, very, very funny at first. Very, very funny. But, and he had a natural capacity. He was, believe it or not, he was funny. But it was too much for this. Fallon, by the way, Jimmy Fallon is so, I can't watch any of this stuff. Late night is dead. There's no need for late night. When we have, during the day, late night was at the time, remember this, my friends, and this is important for you to recognize and to think about. There was a time when late night was the only thing that was available. It was the only thing. There was nothing but late night. That was it. It was so unique. We didn't have before laughing. It was, wow, a kind of a, and then political later on, Dick Cavett, maybe, more PBS stuff. But at the time, it was so novel. Jack Parr, Steve Allen, Johnny Carson. This was just, it became a part of our society. But you had to realize things were different. Linda says, I lost all but 3 friends over Trump. 30 years of friendship. Yes. Linda, that, when you tell people this, I don't think people recognize how serious we are about this. I don't think people really recognize the fact that we're not kidding about that. And this son of a bitch was somebody who actually went and celebrated this. He was the cheerleader for this way of thinking. And I think TDS, I think a lot of us realized it wasn't fun anymore. One of the reasons why the Trump TDS thing isn't funny is because it's run its course. It's not, how do I say this? It's not there yet. You know what I'm saying? It's not mature yet. It's not, I don't know what the particular word is or the phrase is, but it's not there yet. These are things which are so important for us to recognize. I can't say this enough. I could analyze this to the point of all day long. It's not just about Colbert. It's the end of, believe me, if Colbert was working, if America believed it, if America thought about it, if America acknowledged what he was saying was true, they'd be with him. Absolutely, positively there. They would be there with him. And he would be popular, and he would still be on TV, and it would be that simple. But he's not. So my friends, my deepest, deepest, deepest apologies for this terrible interruption. Many of you were talking and enjoying yourself nonetheless. I'm going to be going on to WABC in about 15 minutes. I have to do some business beforehand. Join me at WABC Radio. I'm going to take this on. I'm going to ask you to continue this. When you call up, it's 800-848-9222. Tell them you're from Lionel Nation. 800-848-9222. Yes, Melvin. Let them know, because the talk radio people don't recognize how big we are. The talk radio people think talk radio is the only one who lives, and it's true, but nothing is as big as who we are. So we're going to be doing this right now, and I thank you for that. I wish you a great and a glorious and a fabulous day. Again, I apologize for this ridiculous stupidity. You're watching me. You know what? Who knows? I might get the best numbers. I have no idea. In any event, thank you, my friends. I love you to death. You are so terrific. We're winning at this thing. We'll talk more about what the president. Don't turn your back on MAGA yet. Don't do it. I'll tell you what to do. I'll tell you what to think. All right? I love yous. Today is Friday, my friends. We're getting a good start. Have a great tomorrow, July 19th. July 19th. Cutting Room. Yes. Be there. Tickets are still available. Day of the show. Don't do that. Get them now. All right, my friends. I love yous. Have a great and glorious day. Don't forget, comment. No, it's not comment as you see fit. That's the other one. Oh, yes. The monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. That's the one.